Let's now take a look at the non-aggregation methods. These are going to return an entire new series of values. Usually it's going to be the same length as the original. So they don't summarize the series with a single value. All right, so here, let's take a look. The first one we're going to look at is the absolute value method, ABS. And this will turn all of the values positive and keep the ones that are positive also positive. So none of these are negative, so it's not going to do anything here. But if we had something that was negative, it would return them as positive. So we can actually do that. We can say Sal minus 100,000, and we'll just save this to S. So we'll get some negative values over here. And now we can just do S.abs. It'll turn them all positive like that. Okay, the round method, so rounds the number. Let's go back to Sal over here so you can see that. By default, it will round it to the nearest, 1, but you can change this over here by providing it the number of decimals. So if we give it 1, it'll round it to the nearest, tenth of a dollar, 10 cents. You can give it negative numbers to round in the opposite direction, left of the decimal. So it's always relative to the decimal. So the negative goes left. So this will round it to the nearest 1,000, like this. If you did 3, it would round it to the nearest, 1,000th, or the third decimal. Now these dollars don't go that far, so they won't change the values at all right here. But that's what round does, so very cool. I like to, when you have decimal places that don't matter that much, then I like to do, I really like rounding to get cleared out a bunch of the decimals. You'll see that as we go along in the course. All right, now I want to move on to some methods that accumulate or really keep track of, let's just do head of 10 over here so we can get a little bit more data on the screen. So these will track the minimum, maximum, and the sum, and you'll see what I mean. So these actually they go in order. So the cumulative min method will, one at a time, it'll say what is the minimum value at this position. So at the very first position, there's only one piece of data, so it's got to be this. And then it'll go into the next one. It'll say what is the minimum here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to chain the head method, so I'll just do the first 10. And hopefully you can see what's going on. So the beginning, it's going to be the first same value as this. The second value is smaller, so this is the new minimum. So it's going to find at every point, what is this current value, is it lower than the lowest value ever up to that point? The third value is also a minimum, 49,275. But finally, we get to the fourth value, which is almost 76K, and that is not lower. So 49K is still the lowest. It's still the lowest again until we get down here to 44.6. Then that is the new low. So it's pretty cool. It's the cumulative minimum. So whatever spot you're at, that will be the current minimum. And then it gets to 39.9, and that remains the minimum for the rest of the top 10. Of course, it goes all the way down to the end, but I'm just showing the first 10 values. So cumulative max just works the opposite direction. And let me do dot head here. So looks like, and we don't even have okay. So it takes more over here to see the next maximum. So the very first value, 87.5, is a relatively high value. So we don't see another salary that's higher than it until down here at 107.7. Actually, then we have an immediate one. The next one is even higher than that one. So all of these values in the original series are not higher than 87.5, and we can check that over here. These are all lower, like that. And finally, we have the cumulative sum. So it's going to accumulate the sum as it goes down. So it's going to add this one to the second one, and maybe it's good here to see that one as well. So it's going to just keep on adding. Right, so it's going to add 87.5 to 87.1, and then I'll add 49.2 over here to that number, and so forth. So it's continually adding and then creating a new series by just adding whatever number is at that particular position. All right, so these are just some of the non-aggregation methods for a series. So we have the accumulation methods, round, and absolute value.